Is it working? It's working. Is it the same stream? Guys, how does this work? Oh man, what is this title? Give me a break, man. Come on, what is going on? Guys, destroy that like button if you haven't already. My apologies. Ugh. What is this nonsense, man? Jeez. Oh, give me a sec, guys. It's very, very frustrating. Okay. Got that sorted. Let me just... Nice thumbnail, eh? Jeez. Okay. All right. Now I'm just gonna share it. I'm gonna share it on Telegram, guys. All right. Now I'm just gonna share it. I'm gonna share it on Telegram. Okay. Sorry, legends. My apologies. Let's get those likes way back up. Man, we were smashing. We were smashing. I think it was gonna be. I hate it because I really want to make it a long and nice stream, but now we gotta restart our progress. We were already at it for over an hour. Unreal. Okay. Let's share this. The camera went in a bear market. It did. You're going long on the likes. New stream. Bitcoin is pumping. So right now, in the range that we just established, we're technically reclaiming the point of control. This is good. This is good stuff. Nice. I have no clue why the camera bugged out. That has never happened before. With this new camera, at least. It's happened with an old camera. No clue. Very frustrating. All right. We got to move on. Okay. So, to give you a recap going into the US market open, right now Bitcoin is at its point of control for this current range. And where I would be willing to add to my long is if we get a sweep lower to around sub $60,000. And otherwise, I think we just play the continuation higher. I'm comfy in my schlongs. We've tapped into the point of control. We're trying to hold above the anchored VWAP from the pivot low. A lot of people are doubting that Bitcoin can go higher. I still think that the summer relief rally scenario can play out. We have seen that Julys can historically be bullish for Bitcoin. So, yeah. Julys are usually bullish. When adding to a position, do you add fresh capital or use the profits from the trade? Well, I'm trading on cross margin, right? So, I mean, all of it is together for me. I'd probably add more capital itself to the trade because keep in mind I took some profits, right? I'll keep you updated. Legends, remember, in my community, I share all of my trades and any adjustments that I make are in that community. Remember, it's the first link in the description down below if you'd like to join. Just DM me that keyword BTC on Telegram and I'd be more than happy to add you to the group. But this looks pretty solid. To give you a quick recap going into the US market open, so we had this 4-hour impulsive candle. Then we created another one and we managed to fill this previous candle, but we reclaimed it, which is what you want to see for continuation higher. Now we're trying to reclaim this 4-hour candle over here. We wicked below, we filled most of this previous wick. It looks pretty solid. Someone is asking me now, is it possible, do I think we get a 60 to 61K retest? I don't know, man. If we do, I have my plan ready, right? That's the thing. When you're trading the market, you don't have any certainties. You have no real, I don't want to say no real. There are no certainties. All you can do is you have your levels highlighted and you react based on what the price action gives you. So if we get it, it's easy for me. It's very, very easy. I'm looking to compound my long. If we tap here, we would basically get, as we just discussed, a nice tap into the value area low of the range, which is right on the dot now at 59,900. Its previous support, it also taps into the liquidity. So look, there's no certainties, but I must say that if we grab that downside liquidity and we go there, I'm adding to my long. And I'm going to share in my group as soon as I decide to do that. If we just nuke through it, then naturally I won't. So if you want to know exactly what I'm doing, you guys know where to find me. On the stream, let's see if we can maybe get a little scalp. But to reiterate everything that I talked about in the stream that just froze, when I trade on stream, I take much, much smaller positions than my big swing trades shared within my community. So stream trading is more for fun. Serious trading is done in my community. And if you want to join, guys, we have tons of options to be able to join down below. Bluffin, Weeks, 2-Bit, BTC, and Kraken, of course. sign up to there, start trading on there, and you can join the community. You trade with your own money. We still got 9 minutes. I'll go over the other scenario where in the bigger range, when Bitcoin tapped into its value area low, we had a nice push to the upside, well past the value area high. This was when Bitcoin dropped down to $65,000. So this was a very good long trigger as well in the previous range, or in the bigger range, I should say, because we're technically still back into that range now. I'm still kind of pissed my stream froze. Not gonna lie. Feel like we were looking at some solid numbers. Legends, let's run it up. If you haven't already, smash that like button. Let's run it up. Let's run it up. See, we had over 300 viewers. Unfortunate. These live streams are so valuable. Purchase media, I'm glad you find them valuable. For those of you that listen, I know I would say on average on stream, maybe I take like 1 trade a week, 2 trades a week. However, my swing positions are shared in the group. As always, those are the more serious positions. And some people just don't like it because they want you to always enter a trade. And I think that a lot of people are addicted to being in a position in the market, I have to say. So I'm trying to help you guys not fall into that trap. If you're a new trader, my motto is this: I look for good swing trading opportunities. I'm very patient with my execution, and not having a position in the market is your position in the market, if that makes sense. You don't always need to be in a trade. I see a lot of people with the gambling mentality. You do not need to always be in a trade. I am in 4 current trades, but these were well thought out and I took my time with them. I only entered at high confluence zones. And I'm telling you right now, the highest confluence zone for me on Bitcoin is if we get a wick to sub 60K. I would add to my existing Bitcoin long, which is currently up around 70K. This one was shared within the group. I mean, all the trades are shared within my community. If you want to join, guys, remember, you have that first link in the description down below. I have but only 1 like to give you. Is this value area high, low a tool? What's it called? Yeah. So one of the most reliable ways to trade when you have an existing range on Bitcoin is to draw out what we call the volume profile. So the volume profile is, if you go down on TradingView and you scroll a couple options down, you have this line here, you have the fib retracement, you have the patterns, and then you go down here, forecasting and measurement tools. You scroll down to what is called the fixed range volume profile, and you take it at the start of a range. You can see very clearly that this was the beginning of the range, and you drag it to the current price action. And it'll give you 3 things. The point of control, I'm using, it'll give you 3 things. The point of control, which is the middle here, where we have the most amount of volume. Guys, I'm just playing. I'm not flipping you guys off. Then we have the value area high. Then we have the value area low. We get reactions around these zones within an existing range, particularly in a choppy environment. The bigger the range, the more significant the volume profile becomes, and the more likely it is that we have reactions at those levels. So, yeah, this is it. And the example that I'm using here in this range is the same example that we discussed when Bitcoin first dropped to around 60K. and then we bounced. When we get these bounces in bear markets, it is very, very choppy price action to the upside. So we bounce, we chop, we chop, we chop, and we can go higher, and we just chop to the upside, staircase up, then elevator down. Last time we tapped into the point of control was around 65K, and that was all she wrote. That was enough for Bitcoin to get that big move to the upside. And that's currently what I'm looking at for this potential summer relief rally. And the higher time frame analysis as to why I think we get a summer relief rally is because historically we do. First and foremost, we know that historically July is a pretty bullish month for Bitcoin. Second of all, when you zoom out and you look at historical price action, in 2022, after Bitcoin dumped into June, starting July, or starting end of June, let's say, the relief rally commenced, and July was indeed a bullish month. This doesn't look like a lot on a higher time frame chart, but this was a 40% rally for Bitcoin. Not something to ignore. Then, if you take a look at 2018, which is the comparison that we've made a lot, you have the low at the beginning of the year, you go into July, and would you look at that? Another nice move to the upside. Again, on a higher time frame chart like this, where Bitcoin ends up rolling over, it doesn't look like much. But again, this was over a 40% relief rally. Am I calling for a 40% relief rally? No, not necessarily. But what I am saying is that July tends to be pretty good for Bitcoin, so it makes sense to pay attention to the seasonality perspective. And like in 2018, what happened was we had a low in February, we swept these lows, and now we're getting that choppy price action to the upside. So this is higher time frame. I would say that the most that I'm willing to give this rally is something like here, which would be still a 30% rally. I think that there's a chance that we can make it up to that 200-day moving average before rejecting and going lower. That's what I'd be looking at. There are no guarantees. That's why when it comes to making these trades, understanding that on the higher time frame we're still bearish on the highest of time frames, you want to take profits. So when I entered this long at $58,100 within my community, I took profits at $60,000. I took profits at $62,000, and either I add to my position at 59.9, 60K, call it around that zone, because that would mean that we get into the value area low, we get into support, we top that lower time frame liquidity, or I maintain my position and I make great money at my next take profit zone, $65,000. So I hope that makes sense. Right now we're trying to hold above this wick though. New York Open is now, legends. Would you consider trading ETH? Yeah, I mean, I've traded ETH before. I have nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with trading ETH. Bitcoin gives you the most reliable setups in my opinion. But Ethereum can give you more volatility. T-Tel7408 asks, do you think that explaining what you think to us is also helping you being comfortable in your position? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Because you know what they say, you can learn things, but until you really apply them, it's hard to know if you've really grasped the concept. In the trading world, what this would look like is you learn through watching a live stream like this or through reading educational material. You can know everything there is about trading, but until you actually make trades yourself, you will never know if you can really apply what you learned, if you really understand the concepts. And the next level to that, in any endeavor in life, the next level to that is teaching others, you know? So you learn a concept, you apply the concept to yourself. Once you have success, then you teach other people, and it basically reinforces the whole thing. So to answer your question, absolutely, man, absolutely. Being on the live stream, explaining my thought process as to why I think that Bitcoin on the higher time frames will go lower, but over the course of the next month or so, I think can go higher. Playing that summer relief rally, looking into historical data, it reinforces what I've learned. It's an excellent way to reinforce it. That's part of the reason why I've decided to do this as well, because it helps you hone in your skills when you can teach others. And it makes me so damn happy when I see positive comments that have helped people out. I had one guy the other day that messaged in my Telegram community and basically said, and I quote, "Hi Matt, I've been part of your community for a month now, and it's been life-changing as a fairly inexperienced trader. I especially want to commend you on your meticulous, conservative approach to every single trade you execute. Patience in this game is indeed a big virtue. Your openness to share your knowledge and insights is deeply appreciated. I hope to continue learning from you." That, it's enough to make a grown man cry. Like, it's incredible. And of course, there's a lot of people that'll send like PNLs and stuff like that, and that makes me very, very happy. But reading your positive comments is ultimately what keeps me going. So thank you, guys. So thank you. I really, really do appreciate all of your support. And then we get questions like Reiner, the flowerist, asking me if he should short a token. There's two sides to this world, man. Why don't you think we're going to sweep the lows ultimately with that liquidity stack? Jay Beers, are you talking about the like the lows, like all the way down here? These ones, right? Why don't I think we're going to sweep these lows? That's an interesting question. And the answer is, to be perfectly honest with you, man, no one knows if we will sweep the lows. If we do sweep the lows, I'm telling you again, it's an easy long for me. I still think that we get relief. But my base case, my first zone is here playing on a higher low. That's just what it is, right? But on the higher time frames as a swing trader, I'm open to all possibilities, but I just don't think that we have to sweep those lows yet. I think we will break past $57,800, but I don't think it has to happen yet. I think a lot of people are bearish overall. Oh, Jay Beers says, Jay Beers says, there's a stack of liquidity at 61, Matt. I don't know why you haven't brought it up tonight. Guy, Jay Beers, I don't know if you tuned into the stream late, my man, but I did bring it up, man. This? My thought process, guys, is if we sweep 60K, I add to my long. That's it. That's it. Otherwise, I'm very, very happy with this position. Of course, there's liquidity to 61K, but given the confluence, and that's the thing, I'm not a scalper, right? Just one little liquidity cluster at 61K is not enough for me to say, yep, I'm jumping in here. It's not enough. I'm a swing trader, so I look for the most amount of confluence on the chart. And the most amount of confluence on the chart is right below 60K because it's the value area low of the existing range, because we have even more liquidity there, and it's previous support. So that's my thought process. Otherwise, why would I add to my position, guys? Like if Bitcoin goes to $65,000, this trade will be a 6-figure Bitcoin long trade, which was shared within the community, right? So it's I'm obviously adding realized and unrealized. Yeah, perps liquidity isn't everything. I agree, Gemma Gov, but it's just confluence. That's it, right? It's just confluence. Where do you find more liquidity now? I don't understand your question. Could you please reiterate? Dustin Prince says, if is a word, this is just the journey to 45K. I will say, Dustin Prince, entirely plausible. Guys, my trajectory for Bitcoin right now, as I see it, and keep in mind, if you're just tuning into the stream now, I'm up $600,000 on my Bitcoin short. I still think Bitcoin goes lower. I'm up $90,000 on my Tau short. Still think Tau can go lower. And I'm also in another Bitcoin short. But more recently, I've turned bullish over the past week, 2 weeks, since we've tapped into 57K. Short-term bullish. My trajectory here is something like this. Maybe Bitcoin holds here and we just crawl up to 65. Then we maybe get a dump down to the value area low. Support. Liquidity zone. Then the relief continues. This doesn't have to happen. We could very well just chop to the upside here. What I'm getting at is I think July will likely be bullish, or continue to be, I should say. We reject somewhere within this vicinity, 69 up to 74. But keep in mind, this is made up of moving averages, anchored VWAP, bull market support band, which typically acts as resistance in a bear market, and the 200-day moving average. Reject somewhere here, and then we drop lower to where Dustin Prince has just alluded to. Doesn't have to be 45K. You know that my higher time frame target is actually 60 to 70% drawdown from all-time high. So this looks something like this. $60 drawdown brings us to 50K. 70% drawdown does bring us to 40K. I won't get it perfect, but I think I will get pretty damn close. How can I join your Telegram group if these exchanges aren't available in my country? Guys, I don't know where everyone is located. I can't give you advice based on your country, but I have to say there is so many options to join the Telegram community. Kraken, BTCC, 2bit, we number one. It's where I have my most amount of capital on there. There has to be an option there that works for you, unless you're like an exception. There has to be an option. And if you sign up and you start trading on there, you get access to my free community. Sesh Monkey says, hey Matt, I'm so happy today. I started my trading portfolio with 5K. I'm almost at 9K, almost 4K profits since I'm following you. Thank you for your guidance, my man. I need to send you a gift. I really appreciate it. No need to send me a gift, because at the end of the day, you have to take responsibility for how you've been performing in the market. All I do is I try to provide my insights, my overall market analysis, and I try to educate you through my own personal trades. If you've managed to make $4,000 profit since following me, one, it tells me that yes, I'm happy to have helped you out. But two, you're the one clicking the buttons. You're the one following proper risk management. You're the one making the profitable trades. So just like I always tell people, take responsibility for your losses, you have to take responsibility for your wins. Pat yourself on the back. Congratulations, man. Well done, and keep up the trading with good risk management. How do you find exact spot reversals? How do you find exact spot reversals? What's your strategy? And swing versus scalp. Scalp, I don't think, guys, I've taken scalps on the stream before. I don't think I've had, actually, one crazy thing is I don't think I've had a single losing trade on the stream. I've had some that hit my stop loss at break even after taking a little bit of profits. But I don't think I've had a single losing trade on the stream yet. Of course, it'll happen. My strategy, but what I was getting at is these are scalps on the stream. I am more of a swing trader, so I don't think I'm the most qualified person to tell you about scalps. But we'll try. So a scalp would look something like this, where for example, let's talk about here, where you have a high established, you have another high, and then your entry point would be on a push up to this high with your stop loss right here, and you basically just take profits quickly. Scalps, you're in and out of trades. Swings are different because as a swing trader, you look for the most amount of confluence on the charts. And so for me, the confluence here, where we're starting to build really good confluence, is 60K. But like I said, in the community, we longed Bitcoin at $58,000. There was another opportunity at 57, and I'm still bullish on Bitcoin locally. So I'm going to maintain my 70K in profit. I think that this trade can continue to perform well. If we drop, I add to my position, but I think that from a swing trading perspective, the most important thing is you look for tons and tons of confluence. And swing trading is not for the weak, in the sense of if you're not a patient individual, you're not going to be able to swing trade. You just won't. Back here where we had this sweep of $65,000, we had tons of liquidity there as well at the value area low. So this was a good long setup as well. But you had to wait because the liquidity was sitting there and Bitcoin was at $71,000. And then when we dropped, you read all the headlines, oh my God, Bitcoin's going lower, it's the end, it's the end, it's the end. I was actually in my big swing short from much higher around here, and I was open to the possibility of us going lower, but we didn't. We grabbed the liquidity, we reclaimed the value area low, and then we exploded to the upside. But you had to wait weeks for this, days for this. So if you can't be patient, I would say swing trading is not for you. Although, if you can't be patient, really, trading isn't for you overall. Are we shorting today's markets? No. Let's say I have a small account of $1,000. How should I use this as swing trading and scalping, like risk management? So risk management is literally just the percentage of capital that you're risking per trade. I like the swing trading approach because I do risk a little bit more capital on my trades than the average scalper that does 0.25 to 0.5%. A lot of scalpers will do that up to 1%. Swing trading, I do anywhere between 1 and 5%. Rarely do I do 0.5%. So as long as you're risking an amount that you're comfortable losing, that's the number one rule with risk management. Do not go all into a trade. And I would, the thing with swings and scalps is, like, right now it's hard to build out a good swing position. The opportunity to long Bitcoin was at $58,000. I longed at $58,100. This was the opportunity to long Bitcoin aggressively. I went in with 2% of my trading portfolio in my community. And reminder, if you want to join and see how I'm trading the market, it is a free community. DM me the word BTC on Telegram to join my group. And that's where I share my trades. But I'm very, very patient with them. Hard to build out a swing here. Hard to build out a swing unless we grab this 60K low. But the idea is you have a swing and you can open up scalps while your swing is still in play. Hey, what's your take on hyperliquid right now? If you were building a position today, would you buy the breakout or look for a dip? I'm not someone that buys the breakout, guys. I don't do that. So the latter, look for a dip, which again requires patience. Cheese Bubbles. Cheese Bubbles says it sounds like a dying dog in the background. Okay. I could change the tunes if you guys want. Go Bitcoin. We are long and strong, man. We are long and strong. Jay Beer says, bro, some of these comments, Jay Beer says you've had some good sets on, but tonight's music has been disgraceful. Woo, let's go Bitcoin. Send it, man. Send it. We're up 50K on the trade. All right. But man, some of the comments, Krypton Dawn, my man, come on, a little bit more effort, please. Krypton Dawn says, "Hey Matthew, sorry I spelt your name wrong. Do you see trading like you do your athletics? Is there a common strategy you implement?" First of all, great question. Second of all, my man, why would you write my name incorrectly and then put in brackets saying, "Sorry, I spelt it wrong," and then just continue your question? Come on, man. Like, where's the effort? It's not that difficult. That's funny. All right, I'll change the tunes. I'm changing the tunes right now. I'll put on my Epidemic Sound live stream or random playlist. What's this? This is a bit dramatic. Oof. Come on, go higher. Yaz Shah asks me, what's your plan at 65K? Will you add to your shorts? My friends, the answer to that is no. Although 65K does provide a good zone for a reaction short, I still think we will likely move higher. And therefore, as a swing trader, with my shorts, with my trades currently looking as is, 600K on the Bitcoin short, I only want to add to my position if Bitcoin makes it at the bare minimum the 2021 all-time high, which is $69,000. So 65K is not where I add. Maybe I'll take a scalp short there, but I have a short open from 81.5. I have one that I've kept adding to on the way down. So the answer is no, I'm not adding to my big swing short at 65K. Is it too late to enter long now? The answer is yes. What position mode setup do you use at... What position mode setup do you use on Bluffin? I'm not sure what you mean by position mode. On Bluffin, unfortunately, I did not have hedge mode activated before I took these trades. And so what this means is, when I long, I either have to create a sub account on Bluffin, which is pretty easy, or I just use an exchange that I already have capital on as well, which I longed on weeks. So I have a short and a long open on weeks. Bluffin, to add hedge mode, you go up here in the top right corner in your settings, and you click position mode, and you want to click hedge mode. Always. Especially if you want to long and short at the same time. I entered my trades before, and so for me to activate hedge mode, I have to unfortunately close my trades, which I don't want to do because I'm going to make a lot of money on this and I want to keep them. MUJ2689. Yeah, I would recommend you just create sub accounts. "30 seconds until the 1 hour candle close." We're making an effort to get a little bit of a pump. It's a decent 1 hour close. It's a decent 1 hour close, guys. This is good. Are you bullish or bearish for today? Bullish. Should you risk the same amount? Should you risk the same amount in scalping and swing, or you risk more in swing? I personally risk more in swing, but only slightly. US existing home sales are in. The delta is 110,000. US home sales down. Interesting. Next Tuesday we have inflation, which should be an interesting one. Alejandro says, watching this price while sitting on the sidelines is brutal. I mean, is it? Alejandro, I know you're in the group, right? So you mentioned that you missed, I remember you saying you missed the long at 58. But look, guys, I took my long like here, took some profits at 60. Then we came back down and swept the lows. So there was another opportunity to go long. Then after that, I didn't give that many pullbacks. But for me to consider adding to my long now, I need to see a sweep of 60. Otherwise, we are chilling. I enjoy the tracks you use. Okay, so we're getting some more positive feedback on this music. Nice to know. More opportunities will come. Do not force your trade. I agree with Yaz Shah. Do not force it. Johnny says being part of the Telegram community is better than gold. Guys, if you want to join a community where it's better than gold, DM me the keyword BTC on Telegram. You'll be able to join. It is a community where you trade with your own money. So you sign up to any of these links down below. You start trading on there as you normally do. And then you get access to my community where I share all of my own trades and my overall market analysis. That's it, guys. It's very, very simple. And now we have more and more options. So if you want to join, first link in the description down below. It's where I shared my Bitcoin long, any adjustments to my positions. That's where I am at. We're pushing $80,000 in profits on my Bitcoin long currently. I am bullish. I am bullish. Yeah, I saw what happened to Lab. These are absolute shit coins, man. So here's the thing. I get quite a lot of this is a serious thing to address. You know how at the beginning of the stream and in the other stream where my camera glitched out, I mentioned that not being in a position is a position and it's something that you have to be comfortable with as a trader. I get questions like, for example, from Lab. You guys mentioned Lab that just absolutely dumped. Sometimes people will DM me and say, bro, why are you not shorting this? And I just read that and I just can't help but think to myself, you can do what you'd like to do. I don't need to do anything. You know what I mean? You don't need to take a position. There's so many opportunities in the market. You don't have to take them all. You take a couple of good opportunities, a couple of good positions in the market, and that's really all you need to make consistent money. I would go crazy if I focused on every single coin in the market. Why would you do that? Focus on what works and take high conviction, highly probable, high confluence trades. That's it. Don't get FOMO for positions like that. Jay Beers says, to the casino. Exactly. I think that there's two sides to this industry. There's people that are serious traders and want to make money consistently over time with highly probable setups. And then there's other people that are just gamblers, unfortunately. JL, the only altcoin I trade is ETH. Yeah. It's good to be selective about what you trade. I play with altcoins. Like you can see here, I shorted the crap out of Tau. So we're printing on this one. We're almost up 6 figures on Tau. This was also shared within the community, guys. All my trades shared for free within my community. Join with the first link in the description down below. Someone says, I feel tempted to enter along here. How do I cope with that? I know it's just FOMO. I don't know, man. Like, impulse control. Just know that there's always going to be another opportunity. Fabian. Hey, boss. How's it going? It's going great, my man. I just think this short liquidation is stacked up closer. 281 million at 61.4. Yeah, but keep in mind, guys, liquidity should be used as confluence and not the be-all, end-all for your trades. Can we tap into it? Yes, of course. Do we have to tap into it immediately? No. In fact, a lot of the times we just leave the liquidity clusters untouched, and then we go and tap into it at a time when most people aren't necessarily expecting it. I got some surprising comments on the last video saying, bro, I thought you were a perma-bear. What's going on? I really thought you were a perma-bear. And I'm just like, how many times on the channel have we talked about the fact that I was going to look for swing shorts in the bear market, and that I am not a perma bear, and that I believe in Bitcoin long term. Man, I must have talked about that at least 100 times on YouTube and within the community. At least. But I guess some people just, they hear what they want to hear, right? What's going on with the funding rates, please, and possible outcomes according to it, sir? Guys, funding rates, unless you're looking at a shit coin, funding rates are irrelevant. A lot of people pick one metric that YouTubers will overhype, and then they basically base their whole analysis on that. Funding rate is negative, therefore we have to do this. Guys, I'm on weeks right now, right? The funding rate is slightly positive. It's not enough to draw any conclusions. It just isn't. It just isn't. I'm not making fun of you, man. I'm just trying to explain that just don't base your analysis solely on funding rate, please. You cannot really draw accurate conclusions based on funding rates for Bitcoin unless it's just significantly in one direction, not 0.00, like, you know what I mean? Have you ever thought about creating a bot based on your experience or a book or something similar? I have thought about doing a book material based on how I trade the market. What's your take on altcoins? Want to speak about it? I entered a long some days ago in XRP. All good so far, but doubting to close now. My opinion on altcoins has largely been the same, right? I'm not that bullish on them. I think most altcoins are shit. If you're talking from a trading perspective, I think that if Bitcoin holds up, like around the 60K zone, that alts could get another little period of outperformance. It's possible. So maybe it makes sense to look for more trades on alts within that time frame. Someone says, do I need 500 in my account to join your community? Yes, you do. There is a minimum requirement to have at least $500 in capital. Some members in the group trade with $500, $600. Some members trade with a few thousand. We have a couple people trading with a few million. It suits everyone if you want to join. Unless it's below $500, then in that case, and the reason I do this is simple. I think that if you have less than $500 to be able to trade crypto, it probably serves you better to watch the educational content that I'm providing rather than being in a group where I share my own setups. There are extra insights in the group, of course there are. It's where I share all of my own personal trades. But the thought process, how I'm operating in this market, is also shared, largely on the live streams. The real value from the group is my own personal trades when I adjust my existing positions, my investment standpoint. That's the main value from the group. But if you don't have $500 to trade, I wouldn't even worry about joining the group, honestly. And some people say, well, can you just make an exception for me? Unfortunately, I can't, because if I make an exception for you, I have to make an exception for everyone else. But that's the thought process. Once you build up your capital through learning yourself, trading with your own capital and getting to, for example, a $500 balance, then sure, you know. But for now, I don't think it makes sense. Bike Road Forest. Hi, Mats, you're a newbie here. Just trying to replicate your use of volume profile. Am I right that we are just above the point of control for the recent range? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look. You are correct. So, if you're not sure what Bike Road Forest is talking about, the point of control is a significant level for Bitcoin. The reason why it's significant is because when Bitcoin is in an existing range, the point of control is where we have the most amount of volume within that range, and therefore it tends to act as temporary support at least. So you can see that we popped above. Right now we're trying to hold it. We're wicking below, but we're still getting that candle close above it. My main thing here to add to my big Bitcoin long already is a sweep of the value area low within this range, because one, it is crucial support at around 60K. Two, it's right at the value area low of this existing range. And three, we would get tons of downside liquidity wrecked. So that's an interesting zone for me. Otherwise, I've taken profits at 60K, I've taken profits at 62K, and my next profit zone for Bitcoin is at $65,000. But Bike Road Forest, you are correct. We are currently right at the point of control. So you drew your volume profile range correct. Rick Ty says, in my opinion, this thing of bears and bulls is brain damaging. Traders buy when it is time and sell when they should. Bear bull is an idiotic concept meant to always be on the wrong side of a trade. I mean, I disagree because I think that it's nice to have a term to be able to categorize where the market currently stands. We've been in a bear market since October of 2025. There's no denying that. That's why when I say I'm locally bullish, it still is in line with the bear market and a bear market relief rally on the higher time frames. I like using those terms, to be honest. Hey guys, I'm locally bullish. I'm higher time frame bearish. It's a good way to exemplify what your point is in the market and how the market is currently looking. I like it, to be honest. Rick Ty says, right, the term is useful, but identify yourself with it is what I'm talking about. Yeah, I agree. Some people, well, there's some people that are perma-bulls, like perma-bulls. Every single relief rally on Bitcoin, they said, hey guys, new all-time highs, new all-time highs, new all-time highs. And after a certain amount of time, you'll get it right. And you know what they say? Dumb bulls make more money than smart bears. Because on the higher time frames, on the highest of time frames, over the monthly chart, Bitcoin is very, very bullish, right? So the more you zoom out, the more bullish you see that Bitcoin is. However, those that have identified themselves as perma-bulls for the past year, the issue with that is they can't make money on the way down and they lose money longing at the top of relief rallies. And that's what I've been trying to educate you guys against. I still think that over the long term, Bitcoin will perform well. I don't think the bear market low is in. I think that this is a bear market relief rally, and therefore I will trade the market accordingly. So I'm in a long. But it doesn't mean that I'm highest of time frame or higher time frame bullish, because I still actually have more net short positioning in the market with multiple six figures in profits on my Bitcoin shorts. So, yeah. A thousand thanks. My pleasure, man. My pleasure. Would you like to talk about spot holdings versus leverage trades? So usually in the last bull market, I told my community that I always have at least 2x a spot portfolio compared to my leverage trading portfolio. So what that means is if I have $1 million ready to trade, I should have $2 million in a spot Bitcoin portfolio. But I'm happy to say that this cycle I'm changing things up a little bit differently. I'm happy to say that I've been way more consistent making profits in the market, particularly over the last 5 years, that I am willing to have more in my trading portfolio compared to spot because I make more money trading the market, actively leverage trading. So I will always have some spot holding, but I'm more interested in trading, really. TP mandate. Matt always shares his genuine thought of the market. Your content changed my life and my trading. I am very, very happy to read stuff like that. So I'm glad I can help you out, man. I'm very, very glad. Thank you for the kind words. Someone says, too risky. Dread Mining says, too risky for most people. Yes, but I would argue that a lot of people thought that spot holding altcoins in the last bull market would make them a ton of money. And I think that a lot of people greatly underperformed traders in the last cycle. How many influencers said, oh, you know, I don't touch leverage, but I hold a shit ton of altcoins that have gone down 90%. Right? So who's really right and wrong here? If you can manage your risk, leverage trading is a great, great tool. My next adjustments to my active positions and any new trades that I take are going to be shared in the community. If you want to join Legends and you want to know how I'm trading this market, please remember, just DM me the keyword BTC on Telegram. More than happy to add you to my group. Let's do a like check. 140 likes. It's just devastating because at the same time, we had 150 or something, and then my camera froze. Let's destroy that like button, Legends. I'm going to be here for a few more hours for sure. For sure. Still kicking it with the sassy beats. Yes, sir. Send it, Bitcoin. Vamos. We're right above the point of control, guys. 3 likes from my accounts. You earned it. My man, thank you. This music... This music reminds me of when I'm on hold with a call center. You guys got some funny comments. Oh yes, that's true. My alts didn't move, but people should hold mostly Bitcoin. Dread mining, you're correct, man. That seems to be a foreign concept nowadays. When I got into crypto, the general rule of thumb was you should have 80 to 90% of your spot holdings in Bitcoin. But people have seen what happens with altcoin seasons in the past, and they just assumed that it would be the same case. And so a lot of people on the entire Bitcoin rally from the bear market bottom to the bull market top, not only did they underperform Bitcoin, but they didn't hold any Bitcoin. You'd be surprised how many people literally just held alts. And alts for the large majority greatly underperformed. Insane. Bitcoin effectively did a risk-free 7x from the bear market bottom to the bull market top. You took on less risk if you held Bitcoin and you made more returns. What more could you ask for? When you buy an altcoin, you want to make sure that you're at least getting potentially more returns than Bitcoin. Otherwise, you're taking on more risk for less return, and it's complete bullshit. You're putting yourself under stress for no reason. Because naturally, if the market generally trends up, once we establish that bear market bottom, why would you take on more risk if Bitcoin reliably goes up in a bull market, right? Do you know Hindi? No, I don't. Gemma Gov, probably because call center music is usually royalty free. True. Yeah, we're gonna be adjusting some positions within the community. If you want to join, guys, please remember, first link in the description down below, DM me the keyword BTC on Telegram and you'll get access to that group. You just have to sign up with any of these affiliate exchange links down below and you start trading on there as you normally do with your own capital. This looks pretty solid, honestly. I will have to shift. Okay, but what if next cycle altcoins rip? Then what? Well, I will say congratulations to you, because if altcoins rip, Bitcoin will still perform reliably well. And when you're talking about, guys, I'm not in this industry to gamble. When you're talking about reliable investing and actually making money, I have capital to spray into Bitcoin. Some of you might say, well, if I don't have capital, why, like maybe I need to take more risks into altcoins. And I would still say you should still have the majority of your portfolio in Bitcoin, because part of being a successful investor is not losing money. Can you find a couple of altcoins that do a 500x? Maybe, but for every person that finds a 500x, there is another person, or sorry, there is a million people that lose money, right? I will probably buy like some hype in the bear market, and I'll share it in my community when I decide to do that. But if you're serious about investing, I don't know, guys. Also, maybe monetary policy is better, but it looks like we're going to get in a pretty meh environment, considering we might get rate hikes. Remember, the probabilities favor by December of this year, there's an 83% chance that we get hikes. In October, 71, September, 63, July, 24. So keep that in mind, guys. I'm talking about blue chip alts, ETH, Solana. I would argue that there's, some people say XRP is a blue chip alt. Give me a break, man. ETH, I was hopeful that it would do well, and it didn't, right? It just grazed its all-time high and then rejected massively. It was horrible. The point is, if you want to speculate on alts, that's totally fine, but you need to make sure that you have a good portion of your portfolio in Bitcoin. Streamlabs, hope you're doing well. I think that Solana will underperform Bitcoin in the next cycle. I think it had its period of outperformance. That's just my opinion, guys. Just because Solana did a 30x last time, it doesn't mean it has to do a 30x this time. And also, keep in mind that Bike Road Forest, 1 second. I have a Kraken Pro account. Can I still join your group? Yes, absolutely. Guys, as I discussed, my group is accessible with the links in the description down below. If you already have a Kraken account, we can transfer you under my referral. So what this basically just means is you can just keep your account, share your public UID, which is in your Kraken settings, with me on Telegram. First link in the description down below. Say, hey, I want to join with Kraken. And you share that, and we can transfer you under my referral. You keep your account as is. It's basically what lets you become my referral. So you don't need to create a Kraken account if you're already trading on there. Same thing with BTCC. We can transfer you under my referral. Other ones, unfortunately not. But you guys know Bluffin is my go-to. Why is my camera frozen again, man? Bro, what is this? Ah, it's so frustrating, man. No, guys, my camera cannot overheat. I bought one specifically to not overheat. What on earth is going on, guys? Anyone know what I can do so I can fix the camera and not have to start a new stream again? Nah, man, audio sucks. It's not as engaging. No one's gonna watch without the camera on. Legends, I'm reading the comments now. No, it can't be lower cam. I've never had this. I can't reduce the resolution, or I shouldn't need to. There has to be a different solution to keep the quality high. Unreal, man. It's so frustrating. Well, I unplugged it, and it seems to work. I think. But it shouldn't do this. I don't know why it does that. All right, guys. Let's keep it going. David asks me about the Egypt-Argentina game. That was crazy, guys. That was crazy. What a game. What a game. Okay, so we know that the camera works when I unplug it. Guys, I'm not on a VPN right now. No VPN right here. When I stream, I try not to do that. But it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, guys, because I've never had this issue when I stream from here. Anyways. How high do you think next Bitcoin bull market target based on previous history? I think we could. So this last cycle, my target for Bitcoin was like between 130 and 160K. And we didn't even hit 130. So I'll try to be realistic. I'll call it 150 to 200. It's a big range. 160 to 200. Someone says restart stream instead of being frustrated. My man, I did. I created a new stream. This has already happened, so don't talk to me about getting frustrated. Yeah, the algorithm on YouTube is not favorable when you do this kind of thing. Actually, guys, when I started the stream, we were looking really, really good. And now there's less and less people watching. So it just shows you the content isn't getting pushed when so many people leave at once because the camera turns off and then I start a new stream. All right, guys, holding on to the point of control here. Good stuff. The Founders Hub, I've tried that, man. It doesn't work, unfortunately. Last time it froze, it didn't work. I clicked the eye icon. It did not work, but unplugging and plugging back in did seem to work. So we got that. I just want to know why it happened in the first place so I can avoid this issue. So my next take profit zone for Bitcoin is $65,000. Thanks, man. Yeah, the camera is a Sony FX30. It's a couple K, and I have a lens attached as well. I'm very happy with it. The stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. Ah. Maybe I have to increase the bitrate for streaming. This guy says, when will you give me a trade, bro? Bro, I mean, if you want to see how I've been trading this market, guys, you know where to find me. First link in the description down below. It's where I take all of my big swing trades. I will look to play a scalp if I see the opportunity, but right now we're hovering in between two levels, right? That's crazy. That's a crazy comment. When will you give me a trade? That's insane. All right. I have officially changed my bitrate to 6,000. Hopefully that works. DeFi crypto bros, you get frustrated with those types of comments, questions. I have to say yes, because it's people basically looking for a free lunch. And the thing is, I have no issue sharing a trade setup. I will, and I've done it before on the stream. My issue is the kind of people that say, bro, tell me when to go long, are the kind of people that blame everything on you if a trade doesn't work out. Knowing that I've said explicitly that I am a swing trader, guys. So if I take a stream on trade, it's with way less capital than I use on these big positions. We're currently up multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars across many trades, and all of these were shared within the community. I just saw a question about Kraken. Doug's, no, it's not Doug's. Doug says that the bit rate will likely not help. Anyways, let's see. Where is it? Someone asked me about Kraken. Guys, if you're already trading on Kraken, oh yeah. If you're already trading on Kraken, guys, just DM me on Telegram your public user ID, and we can transfer you under my referral, and you can keep your account. You don't need to make a new Kraken account. You need to be trading with at least over $500 to join. It's your own money that you're trading with. If you're trading with under $500, then in my opinion, it doesn't even make sense to join my community. All right. To trade, does it count if we just buy spot? That's not trading. I consider buying spot investing, guys. Like if you're in my community or on the YouTube channel and you ever hear me say, hey guys, I'm buying spot, I'm thinking of it as an investment, not as a trade, right? Someone said they shorted here. Shorted here. Looks like we're going to lose the point of control within the next hour. Lackluster bounce off the point of control. I don't know if this is a lackluster bounce. I have to say, we're at the point of control. We just had a wick lower into the point of control. This could be viewed as a potential confirmation as support. Honestly. As long as the candle doesn't close back below the point of control, it looks fine to me. Just my opinion, of course, guys. I'm still in my long on Bitcoin. When you were working, when you started trading, did you add trading capital every payday? Exactly. That's exactly what I did. Do I have to actively be in a trade on Kraken to be considered active in your community? Waiting for a possible short to 70K if it gets there. No, you don't need to be in a trade. I never want to advocate or force people to trade when there's not an opportunity to trade. The minimum requirement is that you have $500 in capital on your account. Most people are trading with a few $1,000s. Like I said, there's some members in the group with a few $100,000 and some even with a few $1 million. However, what we're gonna do is, because I like to keep the group clean. There's a lot of people that try to take advantage of the group. They join, they deposit the minimum $500, and then we just kick them out because they don't trade at all because they're trading on another exchange elsewhere. So if you plan on doing that, guys, don't join my group. It's not worth it. You'll get kicked out. But no, you don't need to always be in a trade. I like what I'm seeing, honestly. We're right up, we popped back above the point of control. We're holding the point of control. This is pretty solid. This is pretty solid. David said, so weeks is a must? I mean, it's not a must. I trade on here. Any of these are solid. Bluffin, in my opinion, is the best one. I like Bluffin the most. We talked about Macron as well in my community. I'm looking at Macron. Wow, what a pump, man. Big move. I'm not in a Macron position, to be clear. Got it. Thank you for the clarification. Great channel. Love your content. Awesome, man. Thank you for tuning in. Rob, I don't know if I've ever seen you comment on the live stream before, so awesome to see some new faces. Morning, Matt. I would rather learn to fish than getting plays and learning the how you see things. I'm learning and working on timing. Disabled trader, awesome, man. That's awesome. I think that's a mentality that everyone should have. That's to answer one of your questions. To answer one of your questions, that is why I sometimes get a little frustrated when someone says, bro, do I long or short now? Because it's like, come on, man. Really? Really? Someone says they've been using BitUnix. Yeah, it's okay. But again, what I discussed with the 10 out of 10 liquidation event, they were not operational, and therefore I prefer Bluffin. 63K, here we come. I know a lot of people are getting bearish. I am more locally bullish. To be perfectly clear with everyone on the stream, we've been shorting Bitcoin for a long, long time. It was time to flip bullish. And actually, one of the questions was, why did I long down below here? And we tapped into the 2024 point of control, which was a very important pivot. We swept the low, and I was looking at the liquidity on top of the fact that we were comparing what we're seeing here to the 2018 scenario. I think that this can push higher. I really do. Fat Elvis, your first clue is bro. Absolutely, man. What percentage of my trading capital should I use as margin when trading with leverage? So it's not the margin, it's the total loss. So for example, if I'm trading with $100,000 and I take on 2% risk, what I would classify as 2% risk is if the trade doesn't work out, I lose at most $2,000 from that trade. 2% of the trading portfolio. So it's where basically the invalidation or stop loss is. 63K. Someone said they shorted at the point of control or here because this is a weak bounce from the point of control. I disagree, guys. This to me, right now, the 1 hour candle closes in 50 seconds. This to me looks like a classic retest of the point of control. I think that we break these highs. I think it's probable. $63. Onwards and upwards. Hey Matt, what do you think about day trader? Is it a good? Is it good? Day trading, I guess you're asking. I started that way with scalps and day trading, but I am more of a swing trader. There's no right or wrong answer, guys. As long as at the end of the day you have proper risk management, it really doesn't matter what kind of trading you do. I've had the most success swing trading, and I don't ever want to pivot that. At this point in my life, with the capital that I have, for trading purposes, I would not want to be day trading. For me personally, I have more success swing trading. But day trading might be a good option for you. I don't know, right? Krypton Dawn, nice. So would this be the point you look for small pullbacks to enter and see if the level holds, asks Disabled Trader. The answer is no. I don't want to confuse anyone, guys. My next change in my Bitcoin long position will happen at two areas. And this was shared within my community. If you're in the community, you've been long since the sub 60 ideally. 65K, I take more profits from my Bitcoin long. 60K, I add to my Bitcoin long. Why would I add to my long at 60K? Like we just discussed, this is crucial support that we've tapped into, we've dropped below, we've reclaimed it, and then we had a push to the upside. Not only is it crucial support right below $60,000, but if we take a fixed range volume profile, I know some of you were asking again about how I navigate this. So you take it under the forecasting and measurement tools, you take the top of the start of the range and you drag it to today's price action. What you'll notice, look at where this bottom yellow line formed. It's where we already had a yellow line at the support. So this becomes a really interesting confluence zone because it's the value area low of this range. And we also have tons and tons of liquidity right down to sub 60K. So a big wick down could be nice to add to my existing long. Otherwise, I'm taking more profits on my Bitcoin long at $65,000 because that was always the plan. If I show you my pinned message within the community, guys, these are my trades that I've been in. And this one, I've already taken profits at $60K and $62,000. So a small pullback, like some of you are saying, oh, if we go to 61, I'm not that interested because I'm happy with the size of this trade. If this goes to 65K, this will be a 6-figure profit trade. So that's how I play it as a swing trader. I look for high confluence zones. If the high confluence zones are not hit, then I don't take a trade, right? If you want access to my trades, how I've been operating in this market, remember, you have all the links in the description down below. DM me the word CBM or BTC on Telegram, and I'll add you in the group. How many major swing trades do you typically do in a year? It really depends on the market conditions. In bull markets, I would imagine I'm probably going to take like a lot more than the bear market, because the bear market, it makes sense to hold swing shorts from relief rallies. This bear market, I've still taken a decent amount of trades, but there's some weeks where nothing has changed in terms of my positions, right? I would say, to give you a number, like 30 to 40 a year in the bear market, and probably double or triple that in a bull market. Thoughts on XRP as a long-term hold, 3 to 5 years? Hunter, unfortunately, I don't believe in XRP. I don't believe in what they're doing. I've been pretty vocal about thinking it's a shit coin because they can just print more of it and it's very centralized. I'm not a fan of XRP. Just my personal opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right, just my thoughts. So in terms of an investment, I would not be parking my own money in XRP. All right, well, what did we say, legends? I think we're gonna grab these highs like I discussed. I thought that this was a nice push at the point of control. Someone said that this was a weak bounce, and I beg to differ, guys. When you get a big wick down and it gets bought up like this, it's not that bad. Let's go, Bitcoin. Little protein bar. Hey Matt, can you help show a rejection for bearish? I'm gonna just go on a limb and ask if you're not here, but you're asking for just a example. So bearish would be, I mean, it's easier to say in hindsight, right? But bearish here would be that we basically this is the top here actually. So either you sweep and you get acceptance back below and then we pop back down to the point of control, or this is just another lower high and then Bitcoin rolls over. Bearish as well in terms of CVD would be something like a bunch of longs jumping in, and we can't break above the high. Yes, right now there's a chance that we're forming. I already logged in. there's a chance that we're forming bearish CVD divergence. There is a chance here because you have the high, you have a lower high in terms of price, but for the longs, you have a high. This is Bybit US dollar tether, and you have a higher high. So if this is a higher high again, and the price can't push here, then it would be locally more bearish. In other words, take a screenshot of this. I'll try to share it on almost every stream, but this is basically what you want to pay attention to for CVD. So to invalidate this, you want to see Bitcoin go up here. 63.2K is what you're looking at. Protein bar. Now I'm really curious to see if this plays out. Why don't you trade on Bybit? I prefer Bluffin. Bluffin gives more options in terms of trading, and I've been trading on there for quite some time. Still holding these positions. Looks okay. I just want to see us break these highs to confirm. Even if it's just a wick, it'd be good for a break above. Just joined. What are we looking at? So right now, Bitcoin is back into a range. I'm in my long, and we're looking at a potential bearish CVD divergence. And if that's the case, the low becomes, the target becomes the low here. Down, no. Higher high on CVD. Let's see, guys. We need to break past this, otherwise we're probably gonna target these lows. Check, thank you. Used to trade on Bybit, but they can't provide services to the EU because of regulations. Yeah, like, guys, I have a bunch of different exchange options for you if you want to join the community, or if you just want exchange options. By the way to access my community is, if you're already a trader, you just sign up with any of these links, and you start trading on there, and you get access to my community just like that. You have to DM me the keyword BTC on Telegram to join, and it's as easy as that. So Kraken should be an option for some of you, but I personally trade on Bluffin, and I like Weeks as a solid option too. Let's see. I would like to see Bitcoin popping above here, and also, oh, that's good, that's good. Push up, push up. And also, oh, there we go. We broke this high. Give me the next one. Very nice. Did we break the high? Yes, we did. Nice. Nice. We got to break this top one, though. Also, this tool that I'm using, Legends Mind Pillar, right now, you don't have to really do anything to get access to it, but probably within this month, if you're already trading with my referral links, you will get access to this tool for as long as you stay and you're trading actively in the market for free. We're building out the best possible tool for traders. We have CVD here with the liquidity, telling you when there's bearish and bullish CVD divergences. Over the last 73 ones, there's a very, very solid win rate, 73 resolved here. So this, but on top of, if you're just an investor, we have a lot of things that we're building out for free here. For now, you can already access it for free if you want to. Just go down here, Mind Pillar. And by the way, if you're just tuning into the stream now, we have a new summer schedule. I am live Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays around 12 p.m. UTC, which is, if you didn't know, around 1.5 hours before New York stock market opens. Then I have video updates on Wednesdays and Sundays. And then on Fridays, to be determined, whether I do a live stream or a video, and I will let you guys know when I do so. I'd like to see Bitcoin push up a little here. Otherwise, this is looking a little bit meh. We need to claim these highs, 63.26. Otherwise, it's likely that we tag the lows again. I hear you say we. How big is your team? My team is expanding. I have quite a few people within the team. I work closely with the Mind Pillar group because we're building out this tool together. That's what this is called. So, and I have members that are helping me out within my Telegram community here. To add people to this group, I used to reply to all my messages alone on Telegram, but now I'm getting probably thousands of DMs on Telegram per week to join the community. So I simply cannot answer everyone. I don't have time to do that. So now I have a team that helps me, and we've built a little bit of an AI bot to help us out. Not good if we can't claim the high. Not good if we cannot claim the high here. Thomas Davidson says, so I haven't been speaking to the real Mathieu. I have all of my, I have access to all my messages, guys. So sometimes I do read DMs, but also if you're a bigger trader, what we do is I add you to a folder called my priority folder, and I get back to your messages much sooner than I get back to anyone else. In fact, when I started, I was answering everyone, but then it just became impossible to answer everyone. So now in my DMs, if you're trading with over $25,000, you get added to my folder. And we have members in there that are ranked based on capital that you're trading with. Naturally, if you're trading with a few $100,000 to a few $1 million, I get back to your questions and concerns much, much sooner. Think of it as if you're texting a friend, basically. So I'll go through those chats and I get back to these members. Otherwise, I have my community where I share all my trades. And if I see any kind of reoccurring questions or concerns within my DMs that are from members that are trading with a little bit less capital, then I'll probably do like a general message in the group so everyone can get answered at once. Thursday pump, let's go. Purchase media, let's go. I'd like to see us claim these highs, legends. Otherwise, we come right back down and the CVD divergence can potentially play out. What is your streaming hours? I start at 12 p.m. UTC. So 1.5 hours before the US stock market opens. Today, I started 5 minutes before then, but then my stream, I had to create a new stream. So you can see here, I had one, and then I had to close it. So we're doing it again. We're running it back. Guys, the bearish CVD divergence is playing out. Who took the short? This is local stuff, though. The target in theory should be down to here. Were you a millionaire? Was you a millionaire when I first started watching you in late 2024, or was you still on the path towards the goal? Good question. I was trading with the same amount of capital that you're seeing now. Back when I started the channel, I wasn't really sharing my trades, and I didn't realize that one, I could get more views, but also I could make more impact by sharing my trades, right? So now I've started sharing my trades and being a lot more transparent about my positions in the market, which is why you always see me hovering over my active positions, longs, shorts. But the exact entry points shared within my group, as always, guys. Remember, first link in the description down below if you want to join. You're trading with your own money, right? Someone says, if we close below the point of control, I'm seeing a retesting today's low. We're quite a ways away, man. Right? The point of control is quite a ways away. $400. Let's see. Now this is looking like a little bit. We could be getting some we got some bearish CVD divergence. The target would be down to here if this plays out. How does Mind Pillar work? Can I take a trade on it? You can't take a trade on Mind Pillar. It's tools to be able for you to be able to take a trade. So for example, if I see a divergence here and I want to play the trade, I go to my exchange. We'll probably find a way to somehow connect it within the exchange. But for now, you look at it and then you make your own trade on your relevant exchange. Someone asks me if the candle today will be green. Right now, it looks like it, right? Moaning Matt in my ear. Hi, Matt. Do you use Coinbase? No. If you're someone that likes trading on Coinbase, just switch to Kraken then. It's better in my opinion. I don't have any partnership with Coinbase. Someone wishes that we hit $48,000 in one single 15-minute candle, then we get the bear market over with. Yeah, man. Unfortunately, that's not how bear markets work, but it would be nice, wouldn't it? You get the bear market done, everyone is devastated, and then we go and we're into the next bull market. Would you agree markets in the short term are more sensitive to narrative and sentiment and that they tend to manipulate retail into becoming exit liquidity? If so, is that why you tend to find more success swing trading, which is less narratives, more technicals? 1,000,000%. That's exactly why I'm a swing trader, because you get news. Oh, Iran is striking, or anything along those lines, and on the lower time frames, you get stopped out of a trade. But when you're a swing trader, this typically doesn't happen. It's more about technicals. That's why I like to say the markets always come first, before any news. That's why I will continue to be a swing trader. So yeah, looks like it's getting closer and closer to playing out, guys. Liquidity is getting up for shorts. Yeah, I think we grabbed short liquidity as well. More longs have jumped in today. Sharp Skill says he still doesn't believe July will be bullish. That's fair, man. To each their own, but so far July is bullish. Matt, every cycle that we bought a month earlier, shouldn't then the last drop start earlier too? Maybe, man. Maybe. I don't know. There's no shoulds. There's no, like, there are no guarantees, right? There are no guarantees. Guys, all the trades you're seeing, please remember to join my community if you want to see how I've been operating in this market. A lot of times I hold my big swing positions. We're up multiple six figures on these trades, and every single one of these trades was shared publicly in my group. This isn't to tell you to copy me, but just sharing with you that I do publicly share all of my trades that you're seeing here. Someone says they want to short $63,500. I don't know, man. If we break above 63.2, I think we push higher. My next take profit for my long is $65,000. From there, all right, be right back, guys. We've been at it for technically 3 hours because the first live stream was 1 hour, then I had to cut it. This is 2.5 hours. I'm going to just fill up the water and go to the washroom. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Don't nuke the price while I'm gone, please. Thank you. All right. 63K. very, very choppy. I think the day closes bullish for Bitcoin. I think it does. Doon, 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 doon. All right, legends, we're going to do a poll. We're going to do a poll. And if you haven't already, make sure to destroy that like button for the live stream. If you've been enjoying it, I will put a poll. And you know where to find me in the community, guys. DM me the keyword BTC on Telegram if you want to join my private group. Start a poll. What is next for Bitcoin? Let's see. Let's look at the levels here. Let's do a shorter term one. So 62.6. 62.7 or 63.3. 62.7, 62.7. Let's see, 62.7 or 63.3. Most people think 62.7 is coming first so far. 26 votes. Make sure to get your vote in, legends. Someone asks, could you please guide me how to use MinePillar? I think I will do a MinePillar tutorial once, maybe in July. I will try to do a MinePillar tutorial. It's great for investing, but it's also great for trading. Yesterday we went back to outflows for the Bitcoin spot ETFs. Coinbase Premium Index back deep into red, unfortunately, but Bitcoin is still holding up. Bitcoin is still holding up. All right, 4-hour candle is in 7 minutes, as Morlakai says. I'll talk about the scenarios after that 4-hour candle closes for Bitcoin, what I think could be happening on the lower time frames, on the higher time frames. We will get into that right now. I think honestly that we can still get this summer relief rally. And I know, guys, especially if you're new to the channel and you're just tuning in now, you're like, oh, who is this guy talking more about Bitcoin being bullish? Guys, please look at my history. I have been very, very bearish on Bitcoin. Just because I flipped bullish a little bit at $58,000, it doesn't mean you can categorize me with all of those other influencers that have been bullish on every single relief rally. There was reason to be a little bit more locally bullish, and I'll get into why. I'll go over the entire thesis as to why I think Bitcoin could still get some more upside here over the course of this summer. Let's see how this 4-hour candle closes first. Looks meh. Not great, not bad. Gemma Gov, exactly, man. Exactly. Gemma Gov says, I like how you've been talking about going long after sweeping the February lows since April, yet it's still such a surprise to people. Well, at least someone's paying attention. What can I say? 50-50. Ooh, the poll is pretty split here. Patience pays, exactly. All right, guys, what's going on with Bitcoin? Dumpy into the close. What is this 4-hour close? Come on. Dumpy. Matsur, connect a trend line from bottom of July 1st to bottom of July 6th wick. What time frame? I'll just do 4-hour, I guess. So you can see this is where I entered my Bitcoin long, right? Like, actually we entered before there, but we dropped a little bit lower after. Pretty good entry. Pretty good entry. I don't really draw trend lines like this, but I know a lot of people do, so no, we're not testing it. We're not testing it. I don't know. I mean, unless you mean we're going to test it. Yeah, maybe. 1 minute. 1 minute until the 4-hour candle close, and I'll talk you through my thoughts, why I think the way I think, and why I think Bitcoin can still crawl on higher, even with this choppy price action. Take it from the long wick on the 4 hour. This is the 4 hour chart, my man. This is the long wick. Oh, this one. This one up here? It's a week, bro. Okay, 4 hour candle closes in pretty mid candle. We held above this previous wick here. We've already retraced 50% of this big wick. I think there's a chance we squeeze higher. All right, guys. So here is my thought process. If you're new to the channel, you're definitely going to want to pay attention to what I'm saying right now. If you're just tuning in. So, overall, on the highest of time frames, I still think that Bitcoin has one more drop lower. So we're going to start with that. I still think, okay guys, 5 to 10 minutes, 5 to 15 minutes here of just hopefully alpha for you. I still think that on the higher time frames, Bitcoin will likely move lower. Every single relief rally in this bear market, my community and I have shorted. I have aggressively shorted Bitcoin at $98,000, took a lot of profits on the way down. Then I added to my position, took more profits on the way down. I think that this is not the bear market low. Even though when Bitcoin was at 100K, I said it makes sense to start DCAing from a spot portfolio perspective sub $60,000. Everyone was saying that's never happening. We're not going sub 60K. Well, we went to $57,000. But I still think that ultimately this happens. Now, why, you might ask? Never in Bitcoin's history have we had a drawdown of only 50%, and that was the bear market low. Now, some of you will argue, well, look, it's diminishing drawdowns. And that's factually correct. It is diminishing drawdowns. 93% the first cycle, from all-time high to bear market low. 85% the second cycle. Then we have 84%. Then we have 77%. Notice, though, that it is diminishing returns, but you're usually within 10% away. That means 10% away would put Bitcoin at 67% drawdown from the previous drop. I'm even open to the possibility of 60%. I think that we bottom out 60 to 70% from the all-time high of this cycle, which was $126,000, which means from the high to a 60% drawdown, that puts Bitcoin at around $50,000. 70%, which is still not unrealistic, puts Bitcoin sub 40K. This is possible. It is entirely possible. Now, like I said, within the community, we've been shorting Bitcoin on every single relief rally, been making tons of money on the way down, and the receipts are here. This is my big short position, which I'm still holding. $600,000 plus in profit. I've also had some fun shorting some other altcoins like Tau. This one's up around 90K. And I also shorted Bitcoin again at when we had the Clarity Act pump at $81,500. In other words, another bear market relief rally. So you know my thought process on the higher time frames. Now, what happens to Bitcoin historically in a bear market going into the summer? And the answer is quite simple. We usually get some kind of relief, some kind of rally. So although I do think Bitcoin can roll over, I think that we can get a significant summer relief rally that most people won't anticipate. One thing that I like as confluence is that if we go on the 6-month time frame for the Bitcoin exchange liquidation map, well, we have tons of cumulative short liquidation leverage in the market. So This adds fuel to the fire, which could be a potential short squeeze. So we've made comparisons to the previous cycles. In 2022, into June, Bitcoin capitulated significantly lower, and we created a strong low. What happened was we had a low near the beginning of the year. We broke below that low. We broke below the low again going into the summer. However, after that low was created, we had a 40+% relief rally before rolling over again. Now, I think that what we're seeing is a lot more similar to 2018 price action compared to 2022. So what this means is, and this is where we potentially live in a simulation, that we have to discuss this point. We have a low at the beginning of the year, February, $5,900. Then going into mid-June, late June, we established that bottom, sweeping the low from the beginning of the year at $5,700. Keep these numbers in mind. After the low is swept though, we have a couple of green weekly candles. Then we get a little bit of a retest, and then we're off to the races. This is the summer of a bear market, where Bitcoin rallied over 40% once more. And then, you guessed it, we dropped further to create that bear market bottom. Keep those numbers in mind. $5,900 low at the beginning of the year, $5,700 low in the summer. This year, what happened? Bitcoin dumped. All of us within the community made money on the way down. We have that low, $59,000. Then going into the summer, going into late June, we create that next low, which is basically just a little bit of a lower low, sweeping the low from the beginning of the year at $57,000, 10x from 2018. And you can see that we got a very nice reaction at this zone. Now in the community, once we hit this zone, I informed all the members in the community that I will take a long. I took the long at $58,100, and now we're basically holding that position, gunning for higher, or if we are to get a little bit of a drop, I'd be willing to add to my long. I think that the highest that this relief rally goes is likely up to this 200-day moving average, which is where historical rallies can top out. In bear markets, that is. This is the zone, which puts Bitcoin somewhere between the 2021 all-time high at $69,000 up to the 200-day moving average, $74,000. This is like my grand zone. This is like my big profit-taking zone on my long. So now we see if this plays out. I hope a lot of people get extremely bearish once more. We know that July is historically a pretty bullish month for Bitcoin. In July of 2018, it was a very nice rally. In July of 2022, it was a very nice rally. In July of 2026, will it be a very nice rally? Let's see. But that's my thought process. That's why I entered long. When Bitcoin kept on flirting with these lows, a lot of people got extremely bearish, but there's a time to be bearish. And the time to be bearish, as we've been discussing at length within the community, is when you get these relief rallies into higher time frame resistance in a bear market. I can't tell you how many, first of all, longs jumped in here, and this chart was obscene. Like there was 5-10 times more cumulative long liquidation leverage in the market compared to cumulative short liquidation leverage in the market. And that's when I told my community, guys, I'm adding to my short. And we've been, I hate to use the word printing, but we've been printing on these relief rallies. Shorting up here, shorting up here. And I'm a swing trader, right? So I don't take a gazillion different trades. I short, I take profits on the way down, I add to my position on the way up here, and then I took more profits on the way down, and now I've played this long. Hopefully it holds here, and if we get that move up, I'm telling you right now within the community, I'm going to look for a new short entry targeting lower, likely adding to my $600,000 Bitcoin short. This will be shared live within my community as soon as I make adjustments to my positions, as soon as I take on any new trades. It is shared in my group. I don't think this is going to last forever, guys. I don't think it will last forever. So if you'd like to join, DM me the keyword BTC on Telegram to join my group. It's where I share all of my own personal trades and my overall market analysis when I make any adjustments. When I say I don't think it's going to last forever, I mean, I don't think that shorting these relief rallies is going to be a viable strategy for much longer. We might have a few more months of this, but then afterwards, my bearish stance, how bearish I've been, you can watch the YouTube videos, you can join the community and see how bearish I've been. I have to pivot, and I will basically completely 180 the strategy, and I will look for basically only swing longs in the market. So that's the game plan. Higher time frame, bearish. I think that wherever this bounce leads to, we roll over. Lower time frame to mid time frame, I think that Bitcoin can continue to push up in line with summer rallies in bear markets. We got an excellent long at the low in the community. I've also shared it on the YouTube channel. And if Bitcoin is to tap, this is lower time frame now, if Bitcoin is to drop down to $59,900, call it 60K. If Bitcoin is to drop down to this zone, this support zone, I will look to add to my existing long and or take other longs. So I'll let you guys know in the community if I decide to do so. Obviously, if we just nuke through, well, that's the beauty about having big swing shorts in the market, because if Bitcoin just dumps, and let's say worst case scenario, I make 30K on this trade and it doesn't turn into a multiple six-figure trade. This trade, on the other hand, this short, will make me tons more money on the way down. That's the beauty of being positioned in that way. But $59,900, $60,000 is a good zone because not only is it prior support, but we have that downside liquidity to be grabbed. And we also know that if we draw the volume profile within this range, from the beginning of the range, which was basically the start of June, to where we are today, you'll notice this yellow line blends perfectly with that 59K line. Almost perfectly, I should say. To the naked eye, perfectly. This is the value area low, where Bitcoin tends to provide some reactions if we are to get more relief. So big ranges are important to consider too. And we've been in the same big range since basically the beginning of the year. I can drag this out, this volume profile, and you can see that we've currently been experiencing a little bit of rejection at the value area low of the entire range. But the example of this one potentially tapping into the value area low, grabbing some liquidity, and then bouncing up even more aggressively is an example I like because that's what happened here more recently. This was a zone where we trended from value area low to value area high. We dropped back down to value area low. Everyone got extremely bearish. At this time, there was tons and tons of shorts piling into the market. It's over. We're going much lower. We held on to support. And would you know it, the bear market relief rally continued to the upside. Bear market relief rallies are categorized by choppy price action to the upside. This is, by any definition you want, a very ugly relief rally, but it is a relief rally nonetheless. So I would expect that if we are to get continuation here, it could be pretty damn ugly. It could be pretty damn ugly. So let's see. It won't be pretty. There'll be a lot of chopping out, longs and shorts along the way. But I think that we can make it to that 2021 all-time high. into this 74K zone. But keep in mind, 74K is a constantly moving number because it's referenced as the 200-day moving average. And the longer that price spends below this level, the more that these moving averages drop, and therefore the targets become lower and lower. But I think that, like we experienced here, we will likely have a rejection around that zone if we are to push that high. All right, that's all the alpha. If you've been tuning into the live stream, I mean, I think, guys, that I've explained myself, my thought process, why I've been doing what I've been doing, why I still think there's going to be a new low, why I think Bitcoin can push higher. And if you listened to me rambling on there for the past, what was that, 5-10 minutes? 10 minutes? Yapping, as they like to say. That's it. That is my game plan for the coming months. And if you want to see how I execute on my trades, as always, join the community. It's free. If you don't want to join my community, no worries. I will still do live streams and video updates on YouTube. But I would highly recommend you join, because the only requirement to get in is you're trading on any of these platforms down below. I trade on Bluffin. There's Weeks, there's 2bit, there's BTCC as an option. I've also added Kraken as a new option, new partner on the channel. If you're already trading on Kraken, you can DM me on Telegram and you can keep that existing account without making a new account, and you start trading on there as you normally do. But yeah, I'd recommend you join the community, because the long that I took here at 58.1, I was actually on vacation, and I didn't have the chance to post on YouTube until after I took the trade. So whenever I take trades, whenever I see good opportunities in this market from a swing trading perspective, it's immediately shared in my group. I'm not the type of guy to jump into 15 different positions a week. In fact, there's even some weeks where I only take on 1, sometimes even 0 positions if I have a bunch of trades open, which I currently do. I have 4 big swing trades open. So let's see how it plays out. Net Nate, thank you for your work, Matt. Helps us a lot. Awesome, man. I'm glad it helps you. That's all I want to do. If it helps you, it helps you. But really, if you're looking for my game plan for the next few months, that's it. So I welcome you to stay. I welcome you to join the community. But if you tuned in just to hear my game plan, that's that. Obviously, there's a couple of things we have to consider on the lower time frames, but all those considerations are made when I take a new trade, and that's shared in my group, of course. All right, guys. Smash the like button, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video, and enjoy the game this evening. Morocco, France. We'll talk soon.